The Pretender is a classic Jackson Browne song from his 1976 album of the same name. It's an example of great songwriting and it's one of Jackson Browne's most well-known songs. The Pretender has a brilliant bass line that was recorded by Bob Glaub. You might have seen his signature Lackland bass. I own one of those. You might have seen it in one of my YouTube videos. A really great bass. This bass line is credited to Leyland Sklar, who recorded on most of the album, but this track was actually Bob Glaub. There's a really funny Leyland lockdown video where he talks about this. He kind of listens to this album and he gets to this track and he listens and he kind of says, this doesn't really sound like me. I'm credited for it, but I don't think it's me. One of Bob Glaub's licks in The Pretender is one of my favourite bass licks ever. And the bass line is so classy, it's a real lesson in where to lay down a groove and where to get a bit busier. In fact, if you listen to all the instruments, you'll kind of hear that they take turns in playing in the gaps that are there between the vocal lines. You can hear a real variation in dynamics in Bob Glaub's bass line, from his light touch in the melodic sections to his thumping bass line when the song gets really busy. So in this video I'm going to run through the bass line from The Pretender by Jackson Browne and I'm going to pay particular attention to the tricky bits and to the bass fills. You can get my exact transcription of this bass line from The Pretender. That's in standard notation and tab and it's free. Just click the link below this video in the description. The bass line kicks off with some really nice tenths, and if you don't know about tenths, they're just the root and the third, either a major or minor third, played an octave higher. So we get this nice open sound on the bottom and top string. Okay, so it's on G first. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Slide to a tenth on C, okay? So just keep your eye on where C is when you're doing the slide. It's between the 7th and 9th fret, between the dots. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we do the same again. Okay, and at the end, as we drop into verse 1, we just slide on beat 4 down to a G. The first verse is fairly sparse. Bob Glaub just lays down a really steady groove. Really, we're just using G, C and D for most of it, okay? There's a nice little fill in the third bar. So we hold a long G down to start and then we've got this fill. So that's from the E, E, G, A, C. Okay? Alright, and then we carry on, G, and then we just got a lot of root notes here. And then we kick into the groove. Just a bit more movement there. And up to D. Then we've got a short section that you'll hear repeated through the song, just C, B, A, G. Okay, I have a little gap between B and A. Off. Same again. Off. If you're enjoying this lesson, then don't forget to subscribe to my channel. You can do that by pressing the red subscribe button on the corner of the screen. And if you click the bell and select all, then you'll get notified as soon as I release a new video on YouTube. Verse 2 is kind of fairly similar to verse 1. It's just a bit more movement. I really like this groove. It just lays it down. Okay, when you're playing that groove, make sure you're off on beat 2. So there's a bit of air between those two notes here. Off. Off. And on beat 2 you've got the snare drum, okay? So sometimes it's talked about that you're letting the snare breathe, okay? Some people say you're letting the snare breathe there. So 1, 2, 1, 2, okay? So you're really kind of working with the drummer there. And then we've got this pattern here. That's just octaves. Okay, octaves, G's there. G octaves, okay? So G is the 5th of C. And then there's a D in there. And then just the groove's really simple. Up to D. And more of that for verse 2. And then we have those bars at the end. Okay, so they're fairly similar, those two verses, and they're quite simple with a sparse bass line. But remember, you can get all of that on the PDF. The pre-chorus gets a bit busier. We can hear these kind of 16th note fills like this. Okay. Okay, starting on different notes there. So we start the groove. Longer notes here, and then B. And when we have these 16th notes, we play them just after beat 3. Okay. And we've got chromatic walk-ups there from E. Okay. Okay, up to E minor, and then C. Okay, so we're using this walk up again to G. Okay, so lots of chromatic notes here, then the notes outside the key. Last line. Okay, so look at that pre-chorus. So it's just these 16th note licks that are new here. Now the chorus for me, or both choruses, are the best part of the song. We've got this lyrical, high lyrical bass part. So it's quite tricky to play. We're going right from low open E up to this C here, okay? When you're playing up here, especially if you're reading the notation, you're probably not used to reading these really high ledger lines. Even if you're using the tab, I suggest that you just get that bar and learn where it is. Use some of the dots to help you know. It's a C. I've told you it's a C, so we've got the C here on that dot above the 12th fret. And just play the octave higher. So keep your eye on that C, okay? Okay, just going to have to practice that so you really kind of know that, so you can fit it into the song at speed. So you come in on one hand, 3, 4, 1. And before that, you've got a slide. So you've got this low E. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then you've got this bit here. Okay, so it's quite technical. Again, this is the 5th bar of the chorus. Just learn this. Okay, that's probably the best way to play it. Or you can play the E here or the E here. Okay. Okay, so let's start the chorus. So we've got this lick here. Okay, E, G, A, C. And then we kind of slide anywhere from the G string up to the F sharp. And then hit the F sharp. So that's F sharp, A, B, E. Okay, so those 2 bars. Okay, you slide on 4. 4, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I've showed you those the bars 3 and 4, and then we've got. Okay, so that's the same there. Okay, this D starting from this bar of D starting from F sharp. Okay, that's very tricky, so break that apart the way I've just done then. Just play it bar by bar, and especially look at that kind of lick in the 4th bar. Then we have the bridge. So this is a kind of repeated riff for 2 lines on G and C. So we've got these kind of root 5th octave patterns, and on the C, the 5th, which is G, and then down the octave, okay? Remember to leave that gap to let the snare breathe. And then there's some really nice changes here. Bass steps down. Keep stepping down. And then up to E. Okay, it's quite faint on the track, but I think this is a 3rd here, okay? So slide that from A. Okay, so it's a really nice descending line there. It steps down mostly by half steps, and but then there's 1 step down to C. Okay, and that double stop there. Then we've got verse 3. The song really comes down here. For the first part, it's very sparse, just held G. And then we've got a 10th on C, like we had in the intro. And then G. That's quite nice, that bit again. And then just a held D and a held C, and then into the groove again, like we had before. And at the end, we've got that twice. So it's a fairly simple verse. This pre-chorus is busier than the last pre-chorus. It's more the same thing, the same harmony, but just busier. So when you're playing that bar from the B, doesn't actually play the 10th, but that's the idea there. It's like a 10th from B, okay? Okay. So it goes there, that's actually B and F sharp. And I'll carry on. Those 16th notes. So the 16th notes in bar 113, or is that in 115? They're slightly different. They're on 3 and, so. Okay, so it's a slightly different rhythm there. So work through that one. Again, it's fairly busy like the last pre-chorus. Then we've got my favourite section of the song, the chorus. This one's even better. I love the feel here. It starts kind of the same way. Slide anywhere from the G string, sort of lower down the G string. And then this fill. Okay, so that goes from D actually, really high up there, a 3rd dot on the G string above the 12th fret, okay, right near the end of the fretboard. And that slide really makes that lick for me, that slide here, so. Okay. and then it carries on. Okay, that's slightly different. And then the last chorus, A, C, okay? And when the lick carries on to that section, it's brilliant. It just seems to go on forever, so. And then this bit here on starting on F sharp. Okay, I'll play that for you. Okay, so there's no way around it. You just have to learn what these notes are, slow it right down. Again, work on that lick in the fourth bar. It's different to the other one. It's really nice. You've got to be try and play it really melodically when you're doing it. Put that slide in, and then fit it in with the rest of the chorus. The outro is fairly similar to the first two bars of the bridge. Just a few different variations, so it just kind of goes 2 bars of G, 2 bars of C, and just repeats that over again. Okay. Okay, with variations on the kind of bars of C, so you just repeat that to fade. I've now run over all the main sections of this bass line. You've got it all on the PDF to work through. I hope I've helped you with those tricky sections. It's a really brilliant bass line, I think you'll agree. It's got loads of variety in it, loads of different shades throughout the bass line, and I love the way that we've got this kind of melodic lines that come back, and then we've got the real thumpy bass line as well. Bob Glaub is a really great bass player. He's done lots of sessions. If you're not familiar with him, then check it out, Google him, you'll see all the albums that he's played on. And now you know my inspiration for this bass is a Bob Glaub signature P bass. I'd love to hear what you thought of this lesson. If you're a fan of Jackson Browne, if you like any of his other tunes, just leave me a comment below and let me know. I always reply to those and love hearing how you got on with the lesson. Also, check out my website, gbshed.com. I've got bass courses, more free stuff there, books. You can buy this t-shirt, loads of other merch. So check that out. That's gbshed.com. And if you look in the description as well, you'll also see tons of useful links there for bass players. If you felt you got value out of this lesson, you can always buy me a coffee. They're $5. The details are at the bottom of the screen, and you can also click the links that are in the description. You can help me out a lot by liking and sharing this video, and also don't forget to subscribe to my channel. This is Greg from Greg's Bass Shed. Hopefully see you very soon in the next video.